People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red, and I'm joined by Australians heavyweight, Justis Huni. Welcome, first time guest, and it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on
Yeah,
the channel.
thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Justice, I want to talk a little bit because I haven't had you on the channel before. I like to get to know the guests. I like to get to.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll peel back. I've watched a couple of bits with you, and sometimes you might feel like you're repeating yourself a bit. But I like to just peel back a little bit of the layers. I know that you've always been a
Yep.
heavyweight. As an amateur, you were obviously super heavyweight. The category slightly different, but you are
Yep.
a career heavyweight. You're 10 fights in. Justice, talk to me about your first name because that is a very, very strong name. And does it mean
Yeah.
justice as in the balance, the law? I deliver justice.
Well,
Talk to me
it's
about that.
it's it's not spelled that way, but yeah, I got no idea. I don't really know the backstory behind, you know, how I got my name, but yeah, I'm happy with it, and yeah,
I think it
just the
suits you
name I
because
got given.
yeah, absolutely. I think it suits you as a heavyweight because it's like, yeah, I'm handing out justice. I've got the heavy hands, and I'm
Yeah.
going to be stopping people in the heavyweight division. I just like the name, so I just thought I'd ask. 10 fights in. Obviously signed up with Tasman fighters that have joined up with Matchroom. Talk to us about your career so far, and I'm going to touch on a couple of the fights, which is Tabiti and the one that
Yeah.
the notable fight, which was Kevin Lorena. But talk to
Yeah.
us about your career so far, Justice.
It's been pretty wild. From my professional debut, it's been big fights from the start of my career. So um, yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Uh, I've had uh, pretty much all of them have been tough fights. Um, but yeah, it's just that's the only way I'm gonna grow, and the only way I'm gonna get better.
You know, when you talk about tough fights, what makes a fight? I get it. Somebody that is equally as qualified or as talented as you.
Mm.
So when you think you're getting above them, saying the IQ range, they're coming back and they're just as sharp as you. But when you talk
Yeah.
about tough fights, can you elaborate on your meaning of tough fights?
Yeah, pretty much that. And also in the physical aspect, like, a lot of them have been physically tough as well. Uh, but yeah, it's like I said, that's the only way I'm gonna grow is to put myself in the deep end and, you know, find a way to swim out of there. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
like it. Drown your opponents and you stay up there swimming, right?
that's it. That's it. I'll leave them
we
in the deep end.
we love it. So your style then, obviously, I get it, heavyweights, you're there to not really win on points, you're there to take your opponents out of there, and you've had your fair share of both. But your style
Yeah.
in the heavyweight division, how would you describe your style to the viewers, to the fans, to the ones that want to get behind you and support you that don't really know much about you as yet?
My style. So I'm smaller. I'm like on the smaller end
You don't
of
look it.
the heavyweight division.
Okay.
So like my style, like I can't just stand there in the inside and just bang, go toe to toe. So you know, from when I was an amateur as well, I've always been a mover and to use my hand speed. I believe I have good footwork and good hand speed. So you know, being in the heavyweight division, I try to use that as much as I can to my advantage. Um, and yeah, that's where I think I'm different. And I guess, you know, some people might find it exciting to see someone different and be a mover. And, you know, I think a lot of people call me like a heavyweight that fights like a middleweight.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's what makes me different, and you know, I just try and capitalize on those advantages that I do have. Because yeah, like I said, I'm more of a smaller heavyweight compared to the big, um, heavy power punches. Uh, so yeah, I try and use what I can to my advantage.
What weight do you usually come in at then when do you do pounds in Australia? What weight do you come in pounds?
Ah, we
Or if it's
do we
kilos
do
or stone, it doesn't matter.
yeah, we do kilos. I
That's fine.
usually come in like when I'm at my best moving and that I'm usually sitting around 107 kilos.
Yeah, I thought I
Yeah.
was going to say 105, but yeah, 107.
Yeah. So around about that. But I have you know lately like my last two fights I think I was 110, 112. So yeah.
Oh,
Just now just getting back to yeah, like I said, what I do best, and um, to do that, I prefer to be fighting at a lighter weight in the heavyweight division.
right. Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to go
Yeah.
straight to one of the questions. So, good morning to the chat. Simon Stevens said, "Good morning, everyone." Justice, and it goes on from what we were saying. Did you have a favorite punch, and what? And was it a weakness? Footwork, defense, stamina, and all the best for your future. So, do you have a favorite punch?
No, I don't really have a favorite punch. I try and make every single punch like
Count.
my favorite punch. Probably the jab. The jab, they say the right hand can take you around the block, but the jab can take you around the world. So yeah, I think that's the most important punch and probably my favorite punch.
Yeah, we like it. Right, let me just say hello to the chat. Hakan Ringside Lives, because he's changed his name. I was trying to pronounce his name. Big up to Abs and Justice. Toby Ringirl Bartlett. He loves the Ring Girls, by the way, this subscriber. Good morning, Abs, Justice, and the chat. That's his favorite part of boxing. And apparently, they've got him in darts as well. Who knew? Yes, JPH is a star, and that comes from Carl as well, who also says
Thank
thanks.
you, Carl. Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate it.
Morning, Abs, and a good day to Justice. Obviously, getting a little bit of the Aussie twang in there.
Yeah.
Greetings to Red and Honey. And Bloodbeat says, big up to both of us. So, yeah, good morning to you.
Thank you.
Right, I've got to ask, right? Justice has sparred Jai many times, and Justice has a bright future. Well, there's another topic we can discuss. Talk to us about that, because Jai Opataya is this bogey man, isn't he? Hopefully, I'm getting him on this week because I believe he's got a fight
Yeah.
announced. But talk to us. Obviously, I understand you're not going to share sparring stories as such, but sharing the experience, especially Jai's come from a very good
Yeah.
amateur pedigree background, and how
Yeah.
that helps you. And you saying that you're a smaller heavyweight. It's a good shout, Carl.
Yeah, look, sparring with Jai is it's next level. He's a different beast in the ring, and whenever I do get the opportunity to get in and help him out with sparring, or he's helping me out with sparring, it's always quality rounds, and I always take away a lot from our sparring sessions, just because it's so competitive, and it's like mind games when you're in the ring with him. Like he's setting things up, and you can't fall into his trap. So yeah, it's always quality rounds, and that's the reason why he's the king of the cruiserweight division. So yeah, I really appreciate it, and so fortunate to have someone that's at the top and live so close to me to be sparring with, and in the near future I'm going to start training with him as well. So
Putting
yeah, I'm very
Australia on the map,
fortunate.
Justice. We
Yeah,
probably wouldn't
100%.
have heard of you guys if it wasn't for obviously your merger with Matchroom. I had heard of
Yeah,
Jaya Pattaya before because he's in a division that was really simmering and bubbling at the time. So you kind of
yeah,
look far and wide. But you guys are actually putting your country on the map for worldwide boxing. So the merger that, Tasman Fighters has had with Matchroom, what does that mean for you? Because you're speaking to people all
It's
over the
just
world. You're not just pigeonholed to Australia,
yeah.
albeit it's a massive country. But your words.
I'm just grateful to, be in amongst it, have the opportunity to, um, off the back of also Jai's performances and stuff, to be able to talk to and do interviews with people like yourself and other um, good interviewers that are from your side of the world as well. So, um, yeah, I'm just fortunate, and I just, I take everything in as I go, and um, yeah, just grateful to be given the opportunity to, talk and give back to, different people from all over the world.
What a sense from you. Obviously, this is the first time I've spoke to you. It is online. What I usually like to do is I usually like to see people face to face, but I guess the chances of that happening with you and I are
Yeah.
extremely rare. But what I can pick up from, obviously, just our few minutes together is that you're quite calm, laid back. And when you look at those attributes, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you could be crazy mad hatter when you get off here, but those attributes and how they transfer into your style in the ring, how does that work?
I think I guess it's pretty similar to the way I fight. Um, I've had a lot of chops and changes to my style since turning pro, just going off of like what the fans want to see more of and stuff. But now I've come back, and like I said, just gone back to what works best for me, and that's to hit and move, and to use my speed and my footwork as an advantage. So um, I guess my style is pretty laid back for a heavyweight. It's not like a crazy aggressive, really out there kind of style. But yeah,
You know, when
that's
sorry,
yeah,
go on.
pretty. No, you're right. You're right. I was done.
No, I was thinking, I remember Joel Parker when he
Yeah,
started. He's also is an amazing human. Absolutely love him to bits. He's a fantastic fighter. But I remember him being quite not laid back in the ring, but he was almost comfortable to go on the back foot. But when you came
yeah,
after him, he'd up the gears, and it's
yeah,
like he
yeah,
would literally fight for his life. He was that kind of. He's got the
yeah,
fight naturally in him,
yep,
and I see a little bit of that in you. But then you look at the Joseph Parker now, front foot aggression,
yeah,
the combinations. I know you said you've got that hand speed already, which we've seen the inside work as well.
yep.
I guess I probably shouldn't compare, but I see a little bit of similarities there. But I don't
Yeah,
know. What do you think?
I'd say we're very similar. Like
Okay.
with that, he's got very good hand speed as
Yeah.
well. Um, so yeah, it's that's very good to be, compared to someone like Parker, because he's a like a mentor of mine, and
Oh,
I look
brilliant.
up to
Okay.
him. I look up to him like for what he's done from where he comes from to make it to where he is now. It's it just shows like I can be in that exact same position as well. So yeah,
Yeah, I definitely agree as well. Obviously, time is the best teacher. You are 25. I think when he was your age, he already held a belt. He was a world champion extremely early. But I
yeah,
can see your careers potentially, probably. I think there'll be some crossover, not with you fighting him, because I don't know, he might have retired by then because you're in the
yeah.
very early stages of your career. But I do like the similarities of both of you. The chat's gone up again, so let me just right. Yeah, good luck on your up and coming fight, December the 11th in Australia. I'm
Thank
going to
you,
touch on that
thank you very
opponent in a
much.
bit, but you've got some well wishes there. And Ra Holcomb says, big up, I just spoke to Justice. Good to see you turned up your date on time. I don't know what's the inside joke there.
I was late to his interview as well.
Oh, oh, it's
So
okay.
yeah,
I won't
Uh,
take it personal then. Perfect viewing to distract me from the boring meeting I'm meant to be in. Right, don't get yourself into trouble. I've got a question from
there you
Iffy
are.
Sid, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go over some bits that I want to discuss with you if you're all right for time. But who would you
Yeah,
like
of
to
course.
fight next, and that you're
Um,
confident you're gonna beat as well? Good question, Iffy.
yeah, right. I haven't really thought about it. For me at the moment, I'm kind of in my career right now. I'm at 10 and
10 and 0.
0, and I'm ranked in the top 15 of a few of the sanctioning bodies. So,
Yeah.
it's been kind of like hard getting fights because being up that high so early in my career and only having 10 fights under my belt is like it's hard to get those fights over the line with those other um co- top 15 contenders because they don't want to risk their record against someone that's only had 10 fights. So right now I'm kind of just in a rebuilding phase and just trying to get as many fights under my belt as I can um in the next year. So come 2026 I want to be sitting around about 15 and 0 if everything goes well. And then, yeah, getting into the bigger and bigger fights
You mentioned the
come
rebuilding
2026.
process, Justice. Elaborate on that.
Oh, not so much like
Yeah,
rebuild,
because I was thinking, have you come off
just
a loss that's not on BoxRec? What do you
yeah,
mean rebuilding?
no, no, no. I haven't come off a loss, but
Oh
just
no.
because from the start of my career, I've always taken like big
Okay.
fights and I've always been in 10 rounders. Like I've never like
Oh,
like climbed my way up to kind of be in this position. I've always just taken the big fights from the start of
gosh,
my
your first
professional
fight was a
career.
10 rounder?
Yeah, so
I didn't notice
um
that.
yeah, it's
Wow.
like not really rebuilding, but just to get some more experience and fights under my belt.
Like pacing yourself, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mm. Kevin Lorena. Now, that's a fight that was out in Saudi.
Yeah,
And I think I did a live watch along, and I probably spent most of it like this.
yeah.
That
It was a
fight,
crazy.
and correct me if I'm wrong, you know what? Your words. Talk to me about that fight because you've got a man that's come in there like a bat out of hell because he's
Yeah,
had extremely tragic
yeah,
circumstances that have happened around that fight.
yeah.
Many people said he probably shouldn't have fought. Um,
Hmm.
but that whole build up, when everything's going on, you're in Saudi. This is your Saudi debut. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
It's like the gold at the top of the mountain. Everyone wants to be there. All of that, grand arrivals. Can you talk us through that week, that fight week, and then talk to us about the fight? That's what I want to know about that fight because I was like, what?
for me, the whole fight week, everything was just epic. For me, I was only 9 fights into my career, and to be up on that stage, fighting on a card that big, I was like, I was just over the moon. So, every day I was just taking everything in, meeting the other, top heavyweight fighters that were also on the card. Um, Meeting them, seeing them like face to face was just crazy for me. So, yeah, it was just a roller coaster from the moment you touch down in Saudi to the moment you leave. It's like you get taken good care of, and you know, it's just massive if you've never been on like a stage like that before. And yeah, I guess the fight itself was massive as well because only 9 fights in and taking on a guy like Kevin Lorena who's been in there with other top guys. He dropped Daniel Dubois, who is now one of the world title holders. So to be on that stage and fighting someone like Kevin is it was a it was a roller coaster, man. Like it was probably the highlight of my professional career so
Okay.
far. So yeah,
Was there any time when you was in the ring with him? Because I've watched that. Like I said, I did a live watch along on YouTube.
yeah,
Was there any time when you were in the ring with him where you were like, I really need to try and get this guy out of here? Because even the commentary was saying it's touch and go. What is going on? He's so
yeah,
early in his career. You can listen back to the commentary from the DAZN
yeah.
team, and it was like, is Lorena going to stop him? That's what it was like
Oh,
watching it.
in
But
the
what were
last
you
round,
thinking when you were in
it,
there?
yeah,
He's crazy. He's laughing.
it was like a yeah, it was full on from the start. I just you know, I guess like the pressure. The first couple of rounds was like
Pressure.
um yeah, just getting my head into the fight. Like I was still like I couldn't believe I was there fighting on that
So
stage. Like even
starstruck.
and then yeah, like as the fight went on, I slowly found my rhythm and stuff. And then right at the end of the fight, I got caught with a punch that could have stopped me. He could have stopped me, man. I don't know how I stayed on my feet, but I did. And yeah, it was just a crazy roller coaster of emotions that whole fight. Um, but yeah, just grateful to come away with a win and come away healthy. But yeah, it was it's a moment I'll remember forever.
And probably the most learning fight that you've had
Yeah,
so
yeah,
far.
yeah. It was just tough, like physically tough, um, mentally tough. You know, I had to overcome that hurdle in the last round when I got rocked. So yeah, it was. I mentally and physically had to push through that to make it to the end.
But you know, when you look back on that, Justice, do you think, you know what? Even though, yeah, it's tough, but are you
Yeah,
like, I needed that in my
yeah,
career? Or do you think it was too early? You probably could have dealt
yeah.
with that pressure later on. What goes through your mind like when you
Well,
look back?
um, yeah, I could have, but you know, I'm grateful I got the opportunity to share the ring with Kevin at that point of my career, and you
Mm,
know, it just you know, it gave me a boost of confidence to be able to
good.
say, you know, I'm only 9 fights in, and I was able to go all the way and win the belt against someone like that who had way more experience than me and had been in there with top quality heavyweights as well. So you know, I take away a lot of positives from that fight, and you know that it'll stick with me for the rest of my career. So
Yeah.
yeah,
One of the things that I'd really like to know as well, and I'm more about like the psychology side of the boxing. When the fight's finished, like
yeah,
you said, you've survived through that after getting rocks. You're thinking, okay, I've got to really step the gears up now. I can't quit. I've got to go for it.
yeah,
So when the fight finishes and the referee holds both of your wrists, and I saw you was like looking down, like putting your hand on your head, like what were you thinking at that point? Because obviously they're reading out the scorecards. Is
I
your
was
heart
just.
beating out of your chest? What's it like for a fighter when they think this could go either
I
way now?
thought in my head I was thinking I thought I did enough, but in that last round I knew I was like that could have taken the fight away from me. So I was just kind of like, have I done enough?
Yeah.
Like, um, but yeah, it was just it was just crazy. Like my mind was like racing, and when I did get my hand raised, I was just like it was just like a weight off my shoulders. It was just a relief. But
I
yeah,
might have fell on the floor if it was me, but yeah,
yeah, it was crazy, and you know I had a good rest that night.
I
I
bet you
think I
did.
went to sleep straight away. But yeah, woke up and yeah, I still couldn't believe it. I still couldn't believe um that the whole week, the fight, everything was finished. Like it was such a amazing experience so early in my career.
Well, I hope you get back there soon. You've got a fight against a Argentinian. What's his
Yeah.
He's 11-6, isn't he? Argentinian heavyweight. I haven't checked to see if he's like a career heavyweight, but obviously that fight's coming up. You
Yeah.
said that you've mentioned that it's sort of like a rebuild. You sort of like
Yeah.
pacing your
Just
career.
yeah, just to keep me busy, keep me like active, I guess, fighting under the bright
Absolutely,
lights. Um, because you can do all the sparring and stuff, but like it doesn't compare to actually being out there and fighting under the bright lights in front of a big crowd. So um, yeah, I just wanna get that experience under the lights and yeah,
it's exciting time for the heavyweights. And to be fair, Justice, you're in a privileged position because Tasman working with Matchroom. Matchroom are light on the heavyweights. I
yeah,
don't know if that means a little bit more pressure for you, but it's good. You're in a good division, and you're in a
yeah,
nice position where you are. But when you talk about potentially having these pace yourself fights, you could
mm,
potentially be thrown back into the deep end after this fight. And I'm never going to overlook this opponent. But there's
yeah,
names in the UK. You've got potential star that's coming out of the UK by the name of Moses Atuma.
mhm,
I think a couple of people have thrown, like, on X, when we have a debate, what fight would you like to see? And he's very fresh, very young in his career as well. Talk to us about a potential fight with Moses, because no doubt you will meet during your
yeah.
career. It might be later rather than earlier. But is that someone that you've kept an eye on? And if so, talk to us
Yeah, for
about that.
sure. I think he's fighting another one of the Australians coming up. So yeah,
Dempsey
it'll be good
McKean.
to yeah, that's it. It'll be good to see how he goes against as he's very explosive and very powerful. So um yeah. Look, I'd be happy to like we're most likely gonna meet down the line in the future. Um, because he's still so young as well. But yeah,
When you
we'll
look at
just have
any
to
other
wait and
British
see.
heavyweights, who would you like to fight? Like, when you look at the styles, then take away the potential stardom of a fighter. When you look at someone in the UK and you think, you know what, I think we'd make good dance partners. And I'd probably quite
Mm.
enjoy to, get a stoppage win, get the TKO, the KO. Any British fighters that you can think of, or American?
Not really, not like from the top. I don't have anyone in particular that I've been eyeing out. I kind of just been focusing on myself and getting myself to the best of my abilities, and uh, I'm sure when the time comes, I'll be ready to, make those decisions where where I have like names just sitting on the top of my head, like ready to go. But yeah, at the moment, I'm still early in my career and just got to keep chipping away.
I like it, chipping away. My final two questions then before I let you go. Been quite an enjoyable conversation. It definitely has been for me because I've learned a lot about you. What are your ultimate goals, Justice? When you signed that professional contract and you gave your blood to the contract of Sam Van
Yeah,
Ganza, I like to call it. If you watch Ghost Rider,
there's
you'll know what I mean.
only there's only one goal, coming into this game, and it's to unify the heavyweight division. Um, like if I didn't think I could accomplish that, like I don't see the point of me being here. I just take easy fights and just fight domestically in here in Australia. But I think I got what it takes to go all the way. So yeah, I'm gonna set the goal for myself to one day hold all the world titles in the heavyweight division.
I'm sure you will. And finally, then, your your why, your why
My
that
why
going, yeah, what is
to
Justice's
do
why?
this?
Yeah, why do you
Uh,
do what you do?
for myself, my family, um, to leave a legacy behind, leave my last name behind. long after I'm gone, I still want, people to still bring my name up while I'm not even around. Um, yeah, to make my family happy pretty much, uh, and set up, a future for my kids, grandkids, everyone that comes after me. So yeah, that's my why.
We love it. Right. Right. Toby said, "Is Dempsey McKean still with Matchroom?" I think he is.
Just
And
so
could we
funny.
see both him and Justice fighting?
Um, I'm not too sure if he's still with Matchroom, but it'd be awesome to have a big heavyweight clash here down under. Um, but yeah, um, just gotta take one fight at a time.
Yeah, definitely. And somebody's mentioned that they'd like to see you in with Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher's name just gets literally thrown into every conversation all the time. Oh, heavyweight. Oh, let's get Johnny Fisher. What do you think of Johnny Fisher, Justice?
Yeah, he's good, very entertaining. He brings the crowds. Yeah, I think that'll be an awesome fight. I'd love to have that fight. Very powerful. But yeah, I believe I've got what it takes to, you know, get the job done.
Get the job done. Listen, Justice, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Sorry it's dragged
No
on a bit,
worries.
but next time we speak, it'll be probably more succinct because I've got to know you a little bit today. I'd like to say
Yeah,
a
that's it.
massive thank you to the chat as well for the questions that you've asked. Remember, please support. Obviously, Justice is fighting on December the 11th against a very tough Argentinian, as it's been put in the chat. We're going to watch your career. We're going to see that pacing out. We're going to see some more challenges. I believe your future's bright. Just keep on doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah, definitely. Take it easy. And if you want to jump on again, just send me a DM on Instagram
Awesome.
or get your manager to contact me. And post
Yeah,
fight,
sounds good.
you're more than welcome to come back on.
Sweet.
So yeah,
Thank you
take
so
it
much.
easy.
Cheers.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.